So we're starting here my fastest lap in qualifying today. We just come back from the Nordschleife onto the Grand Prix circuit, start finish. There's a Bentley GT3 who just overtake me. The track was still quite damp at some spots, so it was tough to take risk. Turn 1, we're back to second gear. As you can see, some damp patches around the track. But the car, you actually can see we catch up with the GT3 in the short corners. With the all-wheel drive, it helps us a lot to get traction out of the corners. Fourth gear, we pick up some understeer here, but you still see we can actually follow the GT3 quite nicely. Then on the big straights, obviously, we lose a lot of speed. There's another Porsche GT3 just come by on the right side. But even there, in the corner itself, we don't lose so much, just more on the top speed. Around the Grand Prix track, the car felt really good. It's also the place where you can always check how the car is behaving, because you have a bit more runoff, where on the old course, the Nordschleife, one little error will put you off the track. Go back in third gear. Keep in third all the way. This corner always have a bit of entry oversteer. Goes into understeer. Here we meet some back markers. Always try to flash the light to make sure you're there, because sometimes they're not looking. Onto the fast chicane. During the 24-hour Nürburgring we use the fast section because it's safer. And here we're gonna leave you see a lot of cars going in. We leave the GP course to get onto the Nordschleife. Tricky situations. There's many unpredictable scenes happening. As you can see, two slower cars which don't move from their line. So I had to take a lot of risk to go around the outside on the wet patches, which cost me a lot of time here as well. The Renault Clio as well normally would move out of the way, but because of only one dry line, he would not move out. I lost around 2.5 seconds here. Have to go around the outside. Even the blue flags, they ignore it, but okay, I understand his way. Here we enter the new section, which has a 200-kilometer maximum speed because of an accident what happened before. So we can't accelerate more than 200, called Flugplatz. Here we can go again onto 250 kilometers an hour into 6th gear downhill. Our car reached a speed of just around 250, so we don't have a lot of problems. The car is lifting a bit here. Into the fast left-hander, 5th gear. Big downhill braking, car always upset a little bit. Have a little late apex, good power. The car was really nice here. One of my favorites parts on the track, which goes left, right, all full gas. Car is lifting a little bit, and then into the compression uphill. Here we reach the speed of over 250. Blind corner, very hard to judge your entry speed. There was a bit slippery still. Adenauer Frost, a chicane. As you can see, big understeer, but the curbstone helps me actually to keep it within the wide lines. We still got a good, I had a good sector time, so I knew I was on pace to get a better lap time. Here the car a little bit oversteer on the entry, but very nice when we open the throttle again. Here's one of the toughest part, especially when it's raining downhill, very slippery, very hard to judge the braking point. Back into 4th gear, very quick left-right hander coming up, where the car is moving a lot. It's more driving and back into 5th gear. Also here I got overtaken by a GT3, which cost me a bit of time. You see in the short corners they're not pulling away that much. We come to the Adenauer part, near the Adenauer City, and into 3rd gear. Car understeer a little bit again, back to 4th. Go uphill, blind corner. Try to be on the power early because the uphill slows the car down a lot. Into 5th gear on the corner where Niki Lauda had his famous crash, flat out. Always downhill, always slippery here on the braking. 3rd gear, try to pick up the power before actually you reach the apex to carry speed on this next section, which is all full gas. So a good exit out of that last corner can help us to gain a lot of lap time and top speed. So it's all 6th gear here. As you see, I start closing up with a Porsche Cayman. Although they are very quick in the straight lines, as you can see later on, I'll catch him on the straights. All 6th gear, we're still full gas. Then we have a little tap on the brake, down to 5th gear, back on the power again, around 180, 160, 170 top speed. Little lift again. And we see a lot of too slow cars coming again. Here we pick up a lot of understeer, which actually puts me a little bit off the line. I lose some time there as well. Coming to Carousel corner, back in 3rd gear. Unfortunately, I have to take a bit of a margin because the guys in front of me, they drive a bit slow. So the moment I get out of the corner, I try to make a move. You see their speed on the straights is quite good. Again, I used to try to use the flashing light to indicate the BMW to move out of the way, but unfortunately he doesn't, which cost me another 1.5, maybe even 2 seconds here. Tried to squeeze in, back to 3rd gear. By this time I already knew that the lap was a little bit spoiled by traffic. However, I kept on pushing. All 4th gear, one of the best parts of the track. It's very much flowing. You need to get a good rhythm, a lot of confidence in the car. Keep it all in 4th gear. This is probably one of the parts where if you have confidence in the car, you can make a real difference. We call gallery corner. There's always during the race a lot of fireworks and colorful outings of the fans. All 4th gear here. Go left-hand corner, back on the power earlier. Use the curbstone a lot, not to make too much meters. Here, tricky part, because on the braking you suddenly have a big jump downhill, which you can see that the car is actually lifting. Back on the power, 5th, all the way flat. We go to the Flansgarten area. This should be just a little lift, although you see that the car is quite unstable. I nearly lose it there, but I tried to keep on pushing to make most of the lap, as I knew it was the last one. Back into 5th gear, very fast flowing corners, back into 4th. Then we're reaching the 2nd carousel, which is not as steep banking as the other one, but still helps you to turn the car well. Passing all the campings with all the fans cheering us. Now we actually come before the last 2 corners before the back straight. Especially this one is important to be back on the power early, to carry a lot of speed on the back straight. As we are reaching our top speed by the end. As well, because of safety measurements this year, they implied a 250 kilometer top speed. Our top speed last year was 265, so by the end of the straight we need to release the throttle, not to go over this limit. If you do, you obviously get a penalty, and that would hurt us much more. So we take a bit of conservative here. Until this moment, actually, you can go back over 250, but we'll soon enter for the braking point here, the last section of the track. Back to 3rd gear, try to use all the track you can to have a good exit, to be back on the GP course. And eventually I finished the lap with a 9:08, and consider the track conditions and the traffic, I think it was a really good lap. So I hope everyone enjoyed it.